Hello, and welcome to the next installment of the Bizarre Podcast, starring yours truly. Cheers. This week has been about serial killers, and why do we love them? If you love them, of course. I, for one, tend to love them because, well, there's so many things to enjoy. Oh, got a message from one of our listeners, I guess. That's exciting. Anyways, I enjoy reading about them and studying them because it's interesting to see inside the brain of somebody who thinks that type of way. I'm not saying it's weird or strange. We know it's all weird or strange. I'm not going to repeat, all of our opinions for you. I'm just going to repeat my opinion for you. And if you don't like it, as always, send us your hate mail. Now, this week's podcast is going to be a two-parter. Buttercup will be joining me in or around Sunday afternoon. It'll be posted up. Still working on trying to get video for us, but that'll be taken care of after I download the proper software to a laptop and buy a microphone and all that other stuff that I have to do. And pretty much just a little lazy to do it. But that stuff will be done in the next few weeks, so be on the lookout for that. Anyways, back to serial killers. Now, we all know the big ones: John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, the Green River Killer, all those people. So I focused a little bit on some of them, focused a little bit on some of the lesser known ones, but it all tends to be the same. Whether you think they did it for money, they didn't. They did it to fill insatiable lust they have in their heart that can't be fulfilled by any other things. No sex, no drugs, no rock and roll. None of that stuff tends to fill the hole they have in their proverbial heart. Now, let's start with John Wayne Gacy. Of course, he was a necrophiliac, pedophile, just a straight creepy clown. The top three things to make somebody a very special type of person in this day and age. Is it possible he had an accomplice? Nobody ever talks about that. Being a clown has its perks of luring children if you're into that type of thing. But so does a van with some promise of candy or puppies. Now, we could speculate on whether he did or not, but we'll never know the truth. But I personally think he did. I personally think he went the ways of the name's catching a blank, but he hired another guy, or he hired a kid to help lure kids to come. Now, I've been doing my research all week, and honestly, my brain is fried, so I might be intertwining some of these stories here, and I'm sorry for that. Of course, these solo podcasts are just me rambling on about ultimately nothing that probably nobody will listen to. But I would like to know what some of y'all think about maybe he had an accomplice or not. What would make you believe or not believe he had an accomplice? I would like to hear some of y'all's thoughts in the comments. Of course, always appreciating feedback and criticism. And thanks for the criticism about posting the death pic of Andrew Cunanan. I have trouble saying his name. I'm sorry. It's a speech impediment. Andrew Cunanan. I got a couple of hate mails about that, and I'm not sorry I posted it up. I will post up funny pictures. I will post up lewd pictures and obscene pictures. And I will give equal chance to death pictures from the celebrity morgue. also a subsidiary of Rotten.com, another place I get a lot of my info from. It's for the darker side of history, by the way, so if you want to, you can give that a check. Check out. A lot of the entries come from there. I'm not one to ever steal any credit from anybody, so, nuts. And, raping, torturing, killing, hiding them under crawl spaces pretty much sums up what John Wayne Gacy did. But if you look further into the man, there's some really, for lack of a better set of words, fucked up shit that goes on inside that man's inside that man's mind. He was able to lead not even a double life, more like a triple, maybe even quadruple life. The guy was pillar of the community, did all types of charitable work, church work, all types of stuff, which also, as some of y'all may know, comes full circle to one of my personal points, that just because you go to church and believe in God and stuff doesn't make you a good person. You may be in the pew next to a John Wayne Gacy type yourself. And a lot of these people have that in common, where they were pillars of the community. They were very involved with their church activity. They were very involved with community and children's and schools, and just full of giving back to the community to cover up their dirty little secret. Excuse me, I may have burped a little bit. I had a great lunch at Peter Piper Pizza. Oh, never want to take any credit. You should check out Peter Piper Pizza. But anyways, I digress. Probably don't want to hear about food when you're talking about raped kids, do you? But hey, to each their own. Let's move on to Ted Bundy. Again, pillar of the community, all that stuff. Oh, great. Great guy. A lawyer, from what I understood, or somewhat of a lawyer. A future politician, if I ever saw one, from the details of his case. He pretty much led the perfect life to cover up something like that. Obviously, there's no such thing as leading a perfect life, because it all comes out at the end. But if there was one of the more perfect scenarios to play out, it would definitely be his. Now, what is there to say about someone like that? Not just doing those heinous things, but getting away with so many of those heinous things before finally being caught. It kind of says a lot about our judicial system. Excuse me. You can do pretty much anything you want, as long as you are not of skin color, because being of skin color will automatically get you caught for some reason. I think the only person of color that was that I mentioned this week, because it was really hard to even find really one of them, was Dorothy Puente, who pretty much, I guess you could say, the purest of intentions with her killings. Money. To be honest, that bitch was fucking crazy. But hey, everybody likes a spicy Latina firecracker every now and again, don't we? Swings and roundabouts, of course. Now, her story is a little different, because she was a sweet old lady, according to the guy that helped her dispose of one of her bodies. I wonder if she planned all that. Like, hey, I'm killing these people. I better build up. I had better build up the story to be where I'm just a little old lady who wants some hard candy at the end of the day, and maybe a good old fashioned Judge Judy marathon. Now, of course, as is a very familiar scenario, everybody gets caught eventually. I think there's only one killer who really, really hasn't been caught, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that would be the Zodiac Killer, which I didn't cover. Another email about the death picture. How great. Would you like for me to read it for you? Because I'd be happy to. You should really be careful about what you post because a kid could wander on here and see the picture of a dead body. Let's not never mind the fact that I have a picture of a guy with a huge cock on there either. Let's keep in mind that I have a picture of a guy after he's been brutally murdered. Not just a guy. He was a murderer who got murdered. There's got to be some sort of sweet irony behind that. But let's not focus on anything but the fact the dead body picture. And because of these types of emails, I will be, of course, posting more every now and then. It just gave me the perfect idea to keep on going with it. Maybe giving a list of dead celebrities sometime soon, along with their pictures if I can find them. I know one of the more gruesome ones that people might not want to see is Chris Farley's, of course, which I've seen. It's got that bubble of froth on the mouth from the cocaine and heroin overdose or whatever drugs he was on. But, okay, anyways, enough sidetracking. This week was pretty fun. I'm going to stop right here with the serial killer things because there's so much more that we need to get into. But I'm going to do that with the use of my new co-admin. And we're going to be... I know it'll be up sometime afternoon Sunday, maybe later Sunday. I would like to appreciate you, to show my appreciation for all of those who read it, who take the time out to read it, even if you hate it or just do it because you're a friend of mine or a friend of Buttercup's, or you might have seen one of your friends share it and thought, hey, maybe this could be cool, and then end up hating it. I would just like to say I appreciate you at least taking the time to give it a like and trying to open your mind, maybe free your mind a little bit, because, of course, my motto is always, knowledge is free, but dying costs a fortune. Now, until I see you on the second part, I would like to thank each and every one of you for listening to this rambling that probably meant nothing again this week, but I will see you in part 2, which we will have, again, a co-host, and we'll definitely touch on the subjects that I need to. Now, I would like for all of y'all to enjoy y'all's weekend until Sunday, because I will see you back here with another bizarre podcast.